Southwest Airlines has had a very effective advertising campaign that is called Want to Get Away? You've seen some of those, and you've maybe related to that kind of experience, that experience of like, oh, I'd rather be anywhere else at this moment in time. I've had two people over the years walk into my office just across the courtyard, look at my pictures and say, oh, is that your daughter? That's my wife. I got a different picture of me with her now, just to be clear. It's one of those moments where I actually feel bad for them because you can kind of see it on their face like, I'm sorry. It's that kind of experience. If you've seen any of those advertisements, you remember there's one where a couple is walking onto the porch of a house. She's about to press the Ring doorbell. He has a large gift wrap box and he says, one bread maker, re-gifted, ready to go. And she says kind of under her breath, I don't know who gave us the stupid thing, rings the doorbell. And then a voice out of the Ring doorbell says, I gave you that stupid thing. And you see the look on their face and then the question, want to get away? Or the young woman in the bathroom, obviously of a friend, and she just can't resist. She opens the medicine cabinet. She starts looking, and then she sees a little tube up on the top shelf, and I couldn't read what was on there, but obviously it was something that she thought was cool. We have this smug look on her face now. Puts it back, and the shelf breaks and collapses, and medicine everywhere. And you see the look on her face, and then the question, want to get away? You know that feeling. I read that this week, in fact, that yesteryear's refined and renowned Episcopalian preacher who taught preaching, Phillips Brooks, was walking down Boylston Street in Boston one day, saw a little kid up there trying to reach to get to the doorbell. He walked up and said, I'll help you, little man, pressed the doorbell. And the little boy looked at him and said, run, and took off. And Brooks stands there like, it was before, but I think he's answering that question, want to get away? We have those moments where we truly want to get away. It's kind of humorous to think about some of them, to remember some of them. But what is not nearly so humorous is the reality that sometimes those situations are profoundly painful, difficult. In fact, painful to the point where people see the only way out is to end it all. I feel so claustrophobic in this. I can't get away from it. Now you ask, what would cause somebody to feel that way? It can be any number of things. I've had the privilege of talking with many people over the years and have heard many different stories of what creates that sense that there is no way out. For one, it's online gaming. For another, it's getting way too attached to saying, just put it on the card. For another, it's, it was great. We got a line of credit on our house, and now that line of credit is so big, they say, we can never pay this off. For another, it's blurring the boundaries at work relationally and getting in deeper and deeper. And now you're in so deep, I can't let people know, but I don't know how to get out. Somebody's going to say something. Everything's going to be exposed. For another, it's using too much AI in your doctoral project. Somebody else, just polishing up the CV so that it really shines. For another, we cut a few boundaries, we cut a few corners, we did a few just on the research project. We just had to get the grant. And now it feels like everything is about to cave in. And you say, there is no way out. It's a horrible feeling. Feeling like there's no escape. Sometimes it's created by one's own choices. Other times it's things that other people have done, honestly. It's not always you. It may be something else. Well, if you've ever had that experience, that feeling that there is no way out, I want to offer you a song for when there's no way out. Don't worry, just like last week, I'm not singing, but I am reading. Psalm 61. Psalm 61 does not give us the circumstances of the psalm, but it does give us a title. It does give us what theologians call a superscript. So here's what it says. For the choir director, a psalm of David to be accompanied by stringed instruments. In other words, this is a song for worship. There clearly has been a time in the psalmist's life when he has felt like there was no way out. And he composed something, and now he has survived it. And he's saying, let's sing this in worship. That's the good news. But let's look at the song. Consider the psalm. 2 stanzas. First stanza I thought about as I read through, tried to capture what is the sense of this stanza. Here's what I would call it. Anguish. There's no way out. Anguish, there's no way out. So he writes, O God, listen to my cry. Hear my prayer. From the ends of the earth, I cry to you for help when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the towering rock of safety, for you are my safe refuge, a fortress where my enemies cannot reach me. Let me live forever in your sanctuary, safe beneath the shelter of your wings. Just like last week's psalm, you sense it right away, right out of the starting gate, that plaintive plea. Oh God, listen to my cry. Hear my prayer. Anguish. But it's what he says next that gives us an even deeper insight into what he's experiencing. He says, from the ends of the earth, I cry to you for help. My heart is overwhelmed. That phrase, from the ends of the earth. Listen to Old Testament scholar Willem Van Gemeren, who writes this about that. The nature of the misery is not spelled out, meaning he doesn't give us the exact details of why he feels this way, but its effect on the sufferer is. It wears him out so that he becomes weary of life to the point of despair. The psalmist seems so far from God that he speaks to him from a great distance, from the ends of the earth. Though the phrase from the ends of the earth may denote a geographical distance, it is also a metaphor for despair, alienation, and spiritual distance from the Lord. God, I'm cut off from you. Yes, I may be at a great physical distance, but I feel emotionally isolated. I feel spiritually cut off from you. I'm in despair. Please hear my cry. I am in anguish. There's no way out. You might have come here this morning feeling that way, either because of things others are doing to you or because of choices you yourself have made. I'm trapped. I'm claustrophobic. There's no way out. So my question was, what in the world would have caused David to feel that way? There are many situations in his life that are very, very difficult, but I zeroed in on 3, wondering, is it one of these 3? The first one is when Saul is after him again. David is at home with Michal, his wife, Saul's daughter, and the word comes, the soldiers are on their way. David and Michal panic. There's no way out. They have the place surrounded. What are we going to do? What can happen now? David, you've got to escape. How can I get out of here? There's no way out. And yet, in a brief time, they come up with an ingenious plan. They construct something like what we today might call a mannequin. Quickly, shove it into the bed. And David says, tell them that's me. And so she goes to the front door to let him in while he's exiting out the back window. They come in and they see him. They say, we'll take him, bed and all, to Saul because Saul wants to deal with him. There was no way out, but he escaped by the skin of his teeth. Is that it? Or maybe it's the time when, again, fleeing from Saul, he heads north out of Jerusalem, ends up at the town of Nob, a town that is largely a priestly town. A lot of priests live here. He talks with Ahimelech, the high priest. He says, I and my men, we need food and we need armaments. There's a whole story that goes on with that. But the bottom line, Ahimelech gives him what he needs and he races off. He's trying to find a way of escape from a situation where there seems to be no way out. So he goes over to the enemy, to Achish, the king of Gath. They bring him into the throne room in front of Achish. David's plan is to say, look, your mortal enemy Saul, I'm leaving him. I'm coming to you for protection. I'll serve you. But while he's there presenting his case, he notices the side-eyed glances between the aides to the king. He hears some of the whispers, and he hears them saying, this is Israel's hero. What better way to infiltrate? And in that moment, he realizes, I've jumped from the frying pan into the fire. I'm in more danger here than I was back home. And so in a stroke of genius, he begins to laugh hilariously, uproariously, eyes rolling back in his head, the spittle from his laughter speckling his beard, laughing like he's gone stark, raving crazy. And the king reacts to it and says to his aides, what do you think? I don't have enough crazy people around here already? Get him out of here. And he manages to escape one more time. Was that it? Honestly, I think it's the third one. And I discovered in looking at a variety of different commentaries that many, not every single one, but many agree. The third one is David's flight from his city, from his palace, from his throne, from his own son Absalom. Absalom, who's decided, now is the time for me to be king. I'm going to strike while the iron is hot, even if it does mean slicing the throat of my father. So David is caught in one of these moments where you don't know who you can trust. Are you friend? Are you foe? Can I trust you? Can I not? He's in a situation where he must have felt absolutely alone. Furthermore, ahead of him lay the Judean wilderness and a fugitive life. Behind him lay a son intent on ending his life. No way out. I suspect that's the time when David wrote this psalm. And that as he pins the words to that first stanza, anguish, there's no way out. He's saying, God, I'm calling to you. I am in desperate straits. I'm in utter despair. The walls are closing in. The roof is falling on me, and there's no way out. You may have come this morning feeling exactly that. No one would know it from looking at you. You smile, you greet people, you sing, you pray, and inside you're dying from the claustrophobia of no way out. Just give me a happy ending, God. You know, we love happy endings, don't we? Especially in this culture. The writers Tim Muehlhoff and J.P. Moreland write about that in one place. They write about the fact that our love for happy endings affects, in a deep way, our entertainment life. They write this, and they lived happily ever after is a constant refrain from fairy tales, movies, and love songs. Our well-meaning friends tell us it's going to be all right, and we have proverbs that tell us that behind every cloud is a silver lining. This desire for a happy ending seems deeply embedded within us. This desire, they write, is so strong that some artists and directors are forced to compromise in order to provide us with the ending we want. In 2013, the film August, Osage County, actress Meryl Streep plays the harsh matriarch of a dysfunctional family. The film unrelentingly shows the family ripping itself apart. Scene after scene is void of warmth, humor, or hope. The film fittingly ends with Streep weeping in the arms of the housekeeper as each of her daughters abandon her. As the credits roll, audiences are presented with the scene of her eldest daughter, Julia Roberts, standing in a field, smiling as she watches the horses playfully run together as the sun goes down, casting everything in golden hues. In the background, a pop group sings an upbeat song, "Things are always better when we're all together." How was such an ending added to such a troubling film? John Wells, who adapted the play, sheepishly admitted that he was pressured into it. When the movie had been shown to test audiences, they had rebelled and demanded that the producers provide a more hopeful ending. Thus, the movie ends with a classic Julia Roberts smile and a pop anthem playing to a glorious sunset. Audiences got their happy ending, however forced. So, are we demanding, God, give me my happy ending? I'm in anguish. There's no way out. Or is there something maybe deeper and better? We serve a good God. This psalm has 2 stanzas, not one. Anguish, there's no way out, may be the first stanza, but the second stanza I've chosen to entitle Assurance. In God, there's hope. Now, I have to say something before reading this stanza, just so it'll make better sense, and that is that you'll notice that the writer in this second stanza will switch from the first person to the third person. He will switch to talking about himself as a troubled fugitive to talking about the king and praying for the king. The reason is probably very simple. This is still David as the king. And as the king, he is using this literary device to pray for good things for himself and for his legacy. But it's all dealing with the same person and the same scenario. So with that in mind, assurance, in God, there's hope. Second stanza. For you have heard my vows, O God. You have given me an inheritance reserved for those who fear your name. Add many years to the life of the king. May his years span the generations. May he reign under God's protection forever. May your unfailing love and faithfulness watch over him. Then I will sing praises to your name forever as I fulfill my vows each day. This stanza is bookended by references to his vows, to his promises. You've heard that old saying, there are no atheists in foxholes? Well, David wasn't an atheist, but he sure knew what it was to be in foxholes. And apparently in those foxholes with the proverbial bombs going off around him, he had made promises to God. He had made vows to God. I don't know exactly what they were, but I can imagine, God, if you get me out of this, I'll serve you. I'll worship you. I'll be at the temple every day. I'll be a better person, a better king. I'm promising you, God, get me out of this. Is that you? God, I'm trapped. Get me out of it, I promise. I'll be at Anthem every week. I'll come to first Anthem service. I'll be on the front row. There's no one up there. I'll be on the front row. God, I'll go to David. I'll say, David, I'll help you sing. I'll go to Jesse. You need a small group leader? I'm with it. I'll go to Cain. You need somebody to help? Anything, God, just get me out of this. He's making promises. Give me some kind of assurance. You know what he wants? He wants a happy ending. He wants a Julia Roberts smile and the horses leaping and the sun setting and the music playing. It's what he wants. Well, he's not going to get that. But he is going to get something. Something deeper. James Montgomery Boyce writes about one of the metaphors David uses. You noticed as we read, he used several metaphors. Sanctuary or tabernacle, fortress, under your wings, the rock, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. He uses several metaphors to capture the sense of protection he needs. Montgomery Boyce writes this, the thought of God being a rock is prominent in the Davidic Psalms. By the way, it appears at least 20 times in the Davidic Psalms and 3 times in the next one alone. So that's a common theme. It's prominent in the Davidic Psalms because David had used the rocks of the Judean wilderness as places of refuge and protection during the years he was forced to hide from King Saul and later Absalom. David knew every cranny, track, and hiding place in the vast rocky wilderness. So when he fled to the rocks, he knew he was safe in their protection. We've had the wonderful privilege of traveling in that wilderness on a whole number of occasions. It's amazing that you can be under the scorching desert sun, surrounded by desert scenes, and then the high rocks high above you cast a shade that welcomes you. And if you follow a little trail up, suddenly you're at a waterfall and a fresh spring, a pool of Engedi. And you say, how is this here in the midst of all this? That's what David is saying. God, lead me to the rock where I'm high up, protected from my enemies. I'm low down. I'm in its shade. I have the water to slake my thirst. Please provide for me. And that may be what you're praying. God, please provide. Please help. Your feelings are real and valid. The situation is legitimate and hard. And getting out will take tough decisions. Of that you can be sure. But God is there. He's in it. I want to read you a quote from the pen of Ellen White. This is a gem. It truly is. Here's what she says. You who are feeling like there's no way out, listen to this. Jesus is watching over you, trembling child of God. Are you tempted? He will deliver. Are you weak? He will strengthen. Are you ignorant? He will enlighten. Whatever your anxieties and trials, spread out your case before the Lord. That's exactly what he's doing in this psalm. Spread out your case before the Lord. Your spirit will be braced for endurance. The way, I love this sentence, the way will be opened for you to disentangle yourself from embarrassment and difficulty. Do you love that? I'm hemmed in. What if people know? The way will be opened to disentangle yourself from embarrassment and difficulty. The weaker and more hopeless you know yourself to be, the stronger you will become in his strength. To all who are reaching out to feel the guiding hand of God, the moment of greatest discouragement is the moment when divine help is nearest. Are you desperate? God is there. They will look back with thankfulness on the darkest part of their way from every temptation and every trial. They will come forth with a finer faith and a richer experience. And you say, how is that possible? I want to reread one verse from the first stanza. It's verse 4. Here's David's request. Let me live forever in your sanctuary, safe beneath the shelter of your wings. Now, when we read that, what we think of is that mother hen with all the chicks sheltered beneath her wing, kind of what Jesus talks about yearning to do with Jerusalem many centuries later. And while that's a beautiful thought and it's a biblical thought, it's probably not his thought here. Because here he's bringing together in Hebrew parallelism, the way Hebrew poetry worked, sanctuary and wings. What he's referring to here is I'm a long way from the sanctuary, but where I yearn to be is in the most holy place, the Ark of the Covenant, the mercy seat above it, and above that, an empty space where it was understood to dwell the very presence of God. And over that place where the very presence of God dwells were the wings of the cherubim on either side of the Ark of the Covenant. That's what David is speaking of. What he is saying is, God, I yearn to be in your very presence. Just to know you're with me. That nothing separates us any longer. I'm not at the ends of the earth. I'm now at home with you. That's the assurance. God is with you. Author David Wells says the most important word in all the Bible, when you read that, you're thinking Jesus, love, what else? He said the most important word in all the Bible is the word with. With. Haven't read scripture the same since I read that. Start finding with everywhere. Fear not, I am with you. I will go with you wherever you go. Moses, I will go with you up to Egypt. Fear not, the Lord your God is with you. So stand tall. When Jesus is born, name him Emmanuel, God with us. And when at last we are in the presence of God, it says, the very presence of God will be with his people. That's what David is yearning for here. That's what he's responding to. Oh God, there's no way out. I'm trapped. But if I know you're with me, then there's hope. Those words again from Ellen White, whatever your anxieties and trials, spread out your case before the Lord. Your spirit will be braced for endurance. The way will be open for you to disentangle yourself from embarrassment and difficulty. He is with you. Friend, if you came in today, nobody else may be knowing it, feeling like there's no way out. Receive this assurance. In God, there's hope. It won't be easy. It's not automatic. The road may be tough. You'll need others with you. But there's hope. Absolutely. Young woman named Brooke Lacey, Wellington, New Zealand. Somebody saw the story, picked it up, wrote it, and I read it. Wellington, New Zealand, coming out of the COVID pandemic, had struggled with profound depression, isolation, thoughts bordering on plans to end it all, trapped, I can't get out of this. Somehow, maybe by the grace of God, the sun began to dawn, the road began to rise, and she grasped life. In the months after that, experiencing new energy and new hope and new happiness in life, she said, I've got to help those who are where I was. And so she couldn't think of anything but to make some signs. So she made some signs that said, you are loved, you are valuable, you're wanted in the world. Don't go, please stay, you matter. She made these signs, she had them laminated, made 600 of them. Hung them up everywhere she could find across Wellington, capital of New Zealand. She hung them up in parks and on buildings, on waterways. She even made them into bumper stickers, slapped them on cars, including her own. Wasn't much, but it was something. The months passed. One day she got into her car and saw a piece of paper under the windshield wiper. She thought, great, got a ticket. Went over and pulled out the piece of paper and opened it up. It wasn't a ticket, it was a note. The note said this: I left my house today with a plan. A plan. It's over. There's no way out. I left my house today with a plan and asked for a sign, any sign, that I was doing the right thing. And then I saw your car in the parking lot. Thank you. She didn't know what this meant. So what in the world is this talking about? Took a moment for her to circle back around and remember the bumper sticker on her own car. Before it was X, she tweeted this out. I had made these so long ago, put one on my car and forgot all about it until now. I'm so glad, whoever you are, you chose to stay today. You never know who needs this reminder. And then Judy Cole, who wrote the story, writes, It's something we should all bear in mind. For someone in trouble, even the smallest mindful act of kindness can turn on a light which brightens the tunnel. So that's what the psalmist has done. He's written his story. He's shared his agony, but he's also shared his assurance. Agony, there's no way out, but assurance in God, there's hope. So I don't know where you are today, friends. I have in recent years I've had some of the most discouraging moments of my life. And God has been very close to me through a woman named Anita. And I see the light shine in those times of discouragement. It's real. I don't know who God will use. I don't know what the path will be. And I know it may not be easy. But there's hope. There is assurance. And God is with you.